Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Indeed, indeed. Let's get this up on the screen. Let's see, where is it at? Did I just lose it? I think I just lost it. Where is it? I'm going to see the chat line. Trying to get the chat line up. We have, what do we have up there? There's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been interesting. It's kind of a lot of green dots you can see over the last 6 days. But at the same time, we are flirting with the weekly sell. We're underneath it there. And we can emphasize it by going like this, pushing on full screen. See, it's drifted underneath. So then you can see on a daily basis, right here, there's the daily one. It's been in a buy up until today. Now it's trying to push down also. And then when we go back, exit that and go and look at the actual full screen again, right there, you can see, it was in the buy last week, and then now it's turning into the sell. There's Monday, and we got green dots there, and now we're actually trying to press into it. Went into the long here, ran all the way up to there. Now it's backing off. Just interesting to see. I always watch the Bitcoin as a decision maker, or a kind of like gives us an idea, like the weather. You can trust it for like 24 to 48 hours. In this case here, we have a weekly signal that also gives us greater insight, greater than 24 to 48 compared to the weather, where the weather I barely ever trust more than 48 hours out, and after that you can't trust it. All right, so from there, I just took a sip of water. Let's go see what's going on today in the dollar. And you can see it up on the spreadsheet. Where is it at? On the spreadsheet, right there, right there. It's 1 week in a buy, 7 days in a buy. Let's put it up on the new beta. We're really becoming very enamored with the beta. We're very happy with it. And if you're interested in it, just let Robin know. Let's see. Where is it at? There it is, right there. There we go. And you can see there, it's interest rates have been going up. That's part of it. I think there's the uncertainty. That's another part of it. The globe is, we looked at, like yesterday, we were looking at the dollar index, and then we were looking at the energy index, like crude oil. We'll do that again today. Let's do that now. So let's take a look at crude oil. Here's West Texas Intermediate right there. And it had that same look to it, except for it went into the sell there yesterday. You can see that. And it was a little pressure. Let's show you what it looks like on the full screen. You see it didn't make a new low. Started higher and then dropped down. You can see it got up to there, and then now it's dropping down. It's just a little bit in the minus at the moment, nothing major. And remember, we can do this too. We can really make it. This is the new beta is so beautiful in the sense of how much capacity. You don't need me to put a little red line in or a little green line. You can just look right at it, and you can go into it during the trading day and take a peek at things. So on the daily and the weekly. So let's go back to, you can see here on the algorithm for the daily, right there, same thing. Second day in a sell, pushing down. You don't need me to give you a little red and green line. I like that. Makes total sense here. And then obviously you can see here the weekly is still holding up. And it just missed that buy right there. Let's just make that bigger. Just underneath by like a tick or two, I guess it was. It was incredible. Let's give that a refresh. When you have a problem and it's not making clear, you just see this button right there. See if you can see it. I'll just go like this. Right there, you see the like that. And you just give the little refresh to the page. It refreshes it. Straightens it out. And then I just make it giant so you can look at it close and put the little cursor on it. And there it is, the 0 line. And you can see the histogram is like so tight. So what we do is we go like this. We just move it over even more so that you can see it's a minus right there. See that right there? You can see it's underneath, and we'll get the cursor on it in a second. It's right around here somewhere. There it is. The histogram is a minus. Just missed going into that weekly buy. Let's see. Let's go back to that. So notice that that and then the sugar high. And again, we're seeing more, brokerage houses and analysts say, we don't see Chinese stocks undervalued anymore. Right there. There we are. And here comes the Shanghai index. You see a second day of pushing down from its highs. In this case here, it's in the minus. And you can see it's in a sell there. Been in a weekly buy. They obviously front-runned this whole action going back to the 27th. Back in 27th. Basically somewhere around there. They knew it was coming. They knew the sugar high was coming right there. And zoom. Let's see. That's the end of the week of the 27th. So at the beginning of the week, they started buying it. Let's see, go back to the 23rd and the thing that goes to the 20th. Yeah, so they started to know in that week right there when it was down low like that. And you can see the same thing. Let's show you. What we'll do is we'll just make this so. There we are, like that. You can see back on. Let's just give it a refresh then. See, when you don't see it, when it doesn't, it's kind of crossing over to each other, you just refresh it. And it straightens it out. And then there you go. You can see they started getting into the buy on the 18th. On the 18th. And I think they announced, what was it? They announced the sugar high on the 30th, was it? Something like that. 29th, 27th, something like that. Not the 24th. So it was like around the 27th or 28th, I guess, right around in there. 26th. And then they closed the markets down for a week for the lunar holiday. And we can also see, let's see, that's why we've been warning everybody that it's just not enough. It just isn't enough to reach in. I mean, you had to go when our math turned 3 weeks ago. That's when you could buy it because it was picking up the fact that they were front running into it. Now you can see Hong Kong is the second day on the downside right there. And 2 days in the sell. And that weekly, obviously, they went into the buy. Let's just give it a refresh like that. So they were front running this sugar high that the alleged bailout. I don't even know if you can call it a bailout. But, it's like the week of, at the end of, what is that, the 13th? So the 16th. So it started to go into the buy right there at the 16th. It closed that week in the buy very easily, but look at that right there. It's just ripping up through the manifold, which is usually a 99% chance it will close in the weekly buy, even if it's on a Monday or a Tuesday. And so you can see here, they knew it well in advance. They were front running the product, and now they've all these buyers have come in, and they're selling. They're trying to use both fists, both hands to sell. It seems like to me. So that is the Chinese market. You got to be careful there. They've really put a charge into it from the 2600, was it? I think it was the 2600 in the Shanghai. Where is it? Right there. And so, they front-runned that, and now they're trying to get out of it. And it was down in the 2700 area, basically. Just a little underneath the 2700. Drove it up into the 3,700 area almost. So it went up 1,000 points, or I guess you could say almost like a 30 some odd percent increase, 33% increase, and now they're pushing it back down again. We'll see if it. I guess they'll support it. I would think it'll support in the 29 to 3,000 area, something like that. All right, and so oil, looks like the same motion. The Shanghai looks like it's in the same same act. They look identical in many ways, the charts. And then when you look at the dollar index, that's the only one. It started with it, but it's not backing off yet. Let's go find it again. Right there. There's go. That's the dollar index, and it's just kind of what's interesting is when we go like this to it and go full screen, you see it's been hesitant, but it's even a higher high again. So it's that's the issue about interest rates. There's serious confusion about the interest rates here. I saw the betting. How they bet on when how much they're gonna cut, when they're gonna cut. They're down to 11% that they're going to cut at this point. It was like in the 60s and 70s. There was talk of another half a point increase, or a half a point decrease in interest rates. Now it's down to 11% from 70 some odd percent. And they're not too convinced. I think it's in the 30s that they think that they'll get a quarter point drop now. It's really disappearing quickly. What else we got going on here? Robin, you don't even say hello this morning. What's up? What's up? No hellos from anybody. Do I have the right thing up there? Yeah, I do. Looks like it to me. Let me just move my arrow around just to make sure that I'm seeing it live. Let me double check the sound. Let's see if we have sound. Yeah, I hear sound. So no one, I guess everybody, what's it, maybe they're all living in Florida and they're all running and hiding from the tropical storm. It seems like it's moving back down the tropical. The hurricane is diminishing. It's falling apart. I was trying to tell people that, once the waters get to a certain, the atmosphere biometric pressure can only go so high. The atmosphere holds it back down again. And let me see if I can find it on here. Well, let's go over to the stock market. Let me show you what's caught my eye here. Here's the S&P 500. And no doubt, they are putting a little pressure on it this morning. Nothing major. You can see here. Last night, they had it down into the 80s again. Was it last night? No, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was last night. So, I guess central banks came in and bought like usual. When in doubt, bring in the central bank. So there is, where is that? Cancel. Here is London starting up, right? And let's move this over a little bit, like so. Here is the New York closed last night, right there. It closed up in here. They sold it down through the Asian hours. Europeans sold it down. And then all of a sudden, a magic wand. I love it. That magic wand by the central bank comes in and pops it right up. I mean, it's like they don't like to buy cheap. They like to buy expensive. They need to keep on buying. And so now that the money managers are waking up this morning, they're like, I think I'll take a little profit from there. They're giving me a second chance to get out of some positions here. And I think that's what we're seeing. Now, I am curious why we're not seeing anything. Let's see. Are you on? Let me ask Robin. Because I'm confused altogether. I am confused altogether. Are we even... I hear myself talking on a separate computer, so I know we're there, but I don't even see Robin saying hi or bye or, hey traders or anything like that. I feel alone. I feel all out there alone. But that's all right. I'm a trader, so I have no problem about being alone. I like being alone. All right. Now, let's go show you this. I'm going to minimize that. And here's me just show you how this storm seems to be falling apart. I find that to be very interesting. And let me just go like this. And it's turning into a tropical depression at this point. Right there. Yeah, see, let me show you. It's turning into a tropical depression. Where's the little button that makes it spin? There we go. We go like that. And we go like that. And there it is. You can see it. It was a hurricane. And it's turning into a tropical depression at this point. Let's see if we can get that to... There it is. And this is the motion. And you can see it's flooding things, but it's not as bad. I guess the winds will be up into the 90s, the 80s, maybe touch 100 somewhere, and then they'll just drop as soon as they touch land. They'll start to drop dramatically down into the 30-mile-an-hour winds. So the storm is definitely chilling, but because of the way the currents are right now on the planet, and the North Pole is shifting dramatically, and the South Pole's been drifting and shifting dramatically. All these things are influenced by that, and we've had solar activity, lots of solar activity, from the sun. So, we're real scientists here. We talk about real things, not fantasy. And so you can see here it's turning into a tropical depression. I've been saying that for the last 24 to 48 hours. Maybe the media will start to pick up on it. It's going to be a Category 3 by the time it hits the mainland itself. You can see it's drifting across it now in a much more chill way. So, alrighty, let's minimize that, and let's go take a look at the currencies. See what the currencies are up to this morning. Obviously, with interest rates perking their head up in the United States, it's got them all tad bit confused. Just a tad bit confused. Let's widen this out too. This is my intraday trading system. Same math, just shrunk down. That's about it in time frames. Now let's go over to, there's the currencies right there. We should take a look at the bonds too. Are they still dropping? In other words, when the price goes down, interest rates are rising. There is the 30-year, about the same. It's quiet today. Tried to pick up and fell. It's been going down. When this thing's going down, interest rates are rising. That's what it is. Interest rates are going up. As this goes down in price, interest rates go up. Just like when this went up, interest rates were going down. You can see we were taking out the lows there, took out the lows there. I don't know if we're going to take out these lows, but wow, we are getting lower, that's for sure. And we're in a weekly sell for a third week now too. And I guess, that's what it really comes down to is just throw that pink thing in there like that. See, in the new beta, we don't have to do that anymore. I like that. There you are, Robin. I was wondering where you got to. So, what else we got going on here? Oh, yes, let's get back over to the currencies. Take a look at. There it is right there. There's the euro. Trying to head for lows and take out these lows. Interesting. And that's because why, traders? Interest rates are rising. And also, how do we know about it? Because our math has been telling us up in here to not be long, but to be neutral or short. How about that? And it did it right there. Daily did that. Told us, sell, 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 sell. And we had the volatility signal right there. A green and a red. So now let's look at cable. There's cable. British pound showing somewhat of the same weakness. It's only a second week into the sell. And, it's, what's that? 7 days now on a sell. You can see that on the spreadsheet right there. Cable is 1 week in a sell and 6 days last night. So today we're in the 7th. And you can see on the euro right there, we're 2 weeks in a sell. This is starting a third week. And we're also 6 days in a sell going on 7. So That is the proof in the pudding, as they would say. Proof in the pudding. I'm just thinking. I just stopped for a second and thinking. When we get close to halfway through the webinar, I try to think. Okay, what is the title of this webinar today? And where did we start off with? We started off with talking about, China. Overpriced at this point. It's how far down will it go? Let's take a look and see again real quick. Where could China go? I guess Hong Kong's down like 5 days price-wise. In other words, where it was 5 days ago, it's back down there now. They did that in 2 days. That's usually not a good sign, but they should get a dead cat bounce out of it. Pop it back up one more time with all that free money. Free money. It's not going to last long. It's like we've told you, they need to do almost like, on the worst case scenario, they really need to do like 27 times more. That's where they really need to be, 27 times more. But they're not. And so, and you can hear it. Supposedly they're doing a news conference on Saturday. There's a Chinese news conference on Saturday. And we'll see what that brings us over the weekend. That'll be fascinating to watch. They're probably going to lay out some policies. They got to do something to perk it up. They just don't want to come out and say we're going to throw another 150 some odd billion dollars at it, because that would be $2 trillion, and that's still a small drop in the bucket to help fix that economy. And we have Morgan Stanley brokerage house and Goldman Sachs both saying things like too little, too late when it comes to China. And so that's that's very, very unsettling. Let's say that. It's unsettling. And that could be literally today's title too. Too little, too late. China. Too little, too late. I like that. Sounds like a TV commercial. It could be I was going to say, it could be a book title. Too little, too late. But I think that's going to be the title today. Too little. Deep down in my heart, I think I have something else I want to say about something else, not China. But it's not jumping out at the moment. I guess you could say, more than anything else, is that the oil, I think I said this yesterday too, didn't I? Oil and dollar index and China, are indistinguishable. In other words, they look alike. So I'm just waiting for, what can they say on Saturday? I'm sure they're going to have a giveaway. It's like a goodie bag. They're going to give something away so that Monday morning they can lift them up. Maybe that'll be the dead cat bounce again. Will they do anything that's going to really alter things? As far as I can tell, they're talking too little, too late. So I guess that's where we're going to land in the end. Too little, too late when it comes to China. See some of the titles I had. Like yesterday, China stimulus is sideways. And then economic growth stops problems. Then money managers must buy. And then good morning, no tag. Okay, no. Front running in markets. Gold is not scared. Let's see, what else is it? Markets get sugar high. That was when China did their thing, Let's see, what else is there? China stimulus does not fit. Yeah, I've been making it very clear. As allegedly, China buyers lift markets. Okay, that was the 27th, yeah, of September. So pretty much we're at a point now, because supposedly they're the second largest economy in the world. People are looking towards them. Money managers all the time say it. Oh my God, we're waiting for China to what do they call it when you're getting better? When they've reached bottom and they're getting better. So that's the reason why we're talking about China, not for any other reason but that. Money managers across America and probably across the globe. But every time I hear one of them talk, they're talking about, China just starts to grow again, then we know that the economy will pick up. That's what they say all the time. So I guess we can say title is today is China feels like too little too late, or it looks too little too late. China, too little too late. And Saturday will be very interesting to see what they do. There we go. There it is. So I'm just trying to guess what they're going to say. I don't know. There's going to be a goodie bag. They're going to probably do something else or lower some rate somewhere along the line. Something. So be careful, traders, on that China trade. All right. Next on the currencies, let's go find the inflation fighters and see what they're up to today. A little firmer than I'm expecting, but we're seeing another green and red. We're waiting for it to close that way, so we know that maybe this is topping out. But at this point, we're a second week in a buy, and we're, 7 days in a buy? By the hair of its chinny chin. But it is 7 days in a buy. Now, on the spreadsheet, it'll say 6 because that was yesterday's spreadsheet. And we don't update it until, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, where is it? Right there. There we go. You can see it. Right there. 1 week in a buy. 6 days in a buy. Now, Hong Kong. I'm sorry. Yeah. Not Hong Kong. Tokyo. Same situation. 1 week in a buy. And 5 days in a buy. Leave it highlighted right there on the spreadsheet. And let's go take a look at the yen. There's the yen doing the same thing. We got a green and a red going on again. Maybe it's another topping out or another leg up. We thought it could get up into this area here. We thought it was going to touch this spot right there. The 52 area, 51 and change, something like that. Between there and these tops right there and that there. So, here's the first one. It met it. It failed at that one. Made new lows here, which was taking out this low. Now we're higher low here, and we've taken out this high, is taken out this high, and now it's, the high there is 149.40, and the high there is 149.07. There it's 149.13, and today it is 148.92. So it hasn't taken out this high yet. But I would assume if we have a little bit more strength in this market, which you got a weekly buy, you can see the daily sell's trying to sell down a little bit here. But tomorrow might be the day where they go find the 150 area. We'll see. All right, and then from there, let's take a peek at the the Japanese exchange. Let's see what they did overnight on that. There it is right there. And we'll show you what they did there. And you can see it looks like it was up to the DocDow. We'll make it bigger so you can see it. You see they knocked it down on Monday. Oh no, I'm sorry, they gapped up on Monday, knocked it down on Tuesday, and they've gapped up again on Wednesday here. But it closed lower, but still better than here and just a little underneath there. So they're flirting with, this high and this high here. They've taken out the high there. Now I guess they're thinking, take out this high. They did that right, not there, but here they did it. So now we'll watch and see if they take out this high, which is the 39,830 basically area. And that's the Tokyo exchange. So from there, we go over to the Great Experiment. Show you the Great Experiment. Can't wait to see what that's doing. I didn't even look at it today yet. All right, so they're flirting with a buy. It's been in that daily sell now for 6 days. And let's see. Yeah, right there. 2 weeks in a cell, 6 days in a cell. And we're getting a little flirtation going on the buy side. We'll see by the end of the day. And it's still a third week in the cell. And notice now the line, the fast has dropped underneath the manifold right there. The blue dotted has dropped underneath it. There's pressure. Just a lot of sideways action. We would hope and pray that they would just go to sleep for 10 years right there. Don't move. Stay there. Let the community grow out of it. Let the country grow out of this inflation. Grow out of it. And maybe by growing out of it, it'll drop down a little bit more and it'll be even better, But right now it's hyper inflation on the great experiment, better known as the Turkish lira. And so we go to South Africa, the number one brick nation in the world. The most powerful brick. Right there. And it's got that upwardly slope. And when we see these upwardly slopes in the South African rand, which means it's losing against the dollar, here it was gaining against the dollar. And so we go over to the metals complex. And sure enough, we see, what do we see? I can see, you can see, we all can see. There's gold, and gold has been sliding down. That's what it does. It does the opposite of, it does the same. It follows the South African rand a lot. And so, it's been in a sell for a bunch of days, and it is definitely lower than where it started from. And now we have the weekly trying to break underneath the zero line right there. But we still have the slow. This is the fast one, the blue. The slow is kind of cruising, green line well above the manifold, and the histogram is just a tad underneath it, as you can see right there. So, I don't know. In this type of world, and it's it's issues and people concerned about different things, it's hard to believe that they will sell the metals complex down too much. They'll use the surrogates. And I think that's what was floating in my head when I was trying to come up with the Chinese title. The surrogates of the actions of these, countries. It's definitely, changing its characteristic dramatically. Definitely changing its characteristic. And that is that the metals complex, is not really selling off per se. I mean, you see it in platinum. You see it a little bit more in copper. But, gold is still not going after, like this low here. Or, it was a war just to get it to break that low right there. And it did, but it's, it's playing with the tops here. So, silver. Doing that same thing, third day in a sell. And it's been in a weekly buy for a while. I think that's line. What is that? Let's put that up on the screen there for you. There it is right there. There's crude oil going 1 day in a sell. 7 days in a sell for gold. And now we're on a third day with silver. It says 2 in the box because that was yesterday's sheet. And so you can see there. And then obviously you can see on the weekly, it's 7 weeks. 7 weeks in a sell. So we know this is a surrogate because, gold is the real deal, and then the rest of the metals complex becomes surrogates, and they hedge themselves against the gold at times and hold, this way they're pairs trading and so forth. And in this case here, silver is like 40% off its. Is it 40%? All-time high is 55. And here it's trading at 30. So it's like, 38%, 39% off its all-time high, whereas gold, the all-time high is the 2,700 area, and we're trading at 2,650. So, you're talking about, 3% or something like that, not, 39%, And then we go and look at copper, which is the gold of China. You see it's working its way down. When they knew the sugar high was coming, which was all this, Matter of fact, it was curious. Remember we talked about this. Goldman was actually apologized for predicting a bull market in gold. I'm sorry, a bull market in copper or a rally in copper about 5-6 months ago, and they apologized about 2 months ago, saying they were so wrong. That's so weird to see a brokerage house actually admit that they were wrong, and so I thought that was very odd. And I wonder how much insider information they were seeing, because you can see here, copper started to run at the beginning of September right there. We went into a daily buy, and it stayed in that daily. You had your volatility signal right there, a green and a red, and next day it lifted up. And boy, if you put a straddle on, in the 415 area, obviously the ran to 480 over a 2.5 week period. Then they finally put it into the sell after the sugar high of that was the announcement of the Chinese, adding money into the marketplace to try to stimulate it. And then you can see here it tried, but it failed, and it's now coming down. And you can see it's been in the daily sell from here, and at the same time, it's still in a weekly buy though. And they're not pushing it out the door. It just isn't really going anywhere. And then platinum, which is a whole different story. It's an insane asylum as far as I'm concerned. It's trying to go into the weekly sell. The fast did it last week. The slow is the one we pay attention to more, but we know that the fast gives us great lead time a lot of times. It really does, especially if it breaks the bottom manifold here. Then it's an extreme and it does a dead cat bounce. But you can see here it went into the sell up in here at the 1,000, and we're now, the low today is 954, basically 955. So, its all-time high is, I don't know, 8,000 or 6,000. What is the all-time high? That would be a really good question. I forget what it was. I know I saw it back in 2009 or 2008. Platinum was way up there. Platinum verse gold. Okay, there we are. Platinum is a free open source. No, metal. There it is. All right, now let's see what the all-time high is in platinum. Okay, what is the highest price platinum has ever been? The highest platinum price is $2,213 back in 2008, exactly. I thought it was even higher than that. I was wrong. But here, platinum is, was that 50, it's like 55% below its all-time high, even worse than silver. 55, 60. So the all-time high was $2,213 in March of 2008. And it's trading now at 957. So it's it's enormously lower than its all-time high, whereas gold is banging away at it like if it means nothing. Yeah, crazy. In fact, here's a chart of it. Let's just show you that chart of it. Right there. Wow. Just an enormously low situation. Okay. So, let me go from there. That's platinum. That's the done. We're done with the metals. So where are we at? We're right there. So we can go show you. Here is the West Texas. We looked at it earlier. Second day in a sell. Not flirting with the weekly sell yet, but getting closer. Now let's go take a look at Brent right there. Here's Brent. Brent doing the same exact thing. Second day in a sell. Still in a weekly buy. I'd imagine with all the rockets red glare in the Middle East that it's awful hard to push it into the sell, but we'll see. We know one thing for sure. We'll just show you what the high was no more than a day ago. So we got up to $82 basically and 8 cents. And now yesterday, it hasn't taken out yesterday's low of $76.37. So we're looking at 363, 463, basically almost 480. $4.80 from high to low. Obviously, it closed at the low. And this is the beta. I love my beta. Love my beta. It is great. You can do all kinds of things with it. So from there, has all our math in it. So it's fun times as all. And then we go over to, let's take a look at heating oil, which I found interesting since we're going into the winter months. And here heating oil, what's up with this? Let's give it a spin. And in heating oil was backing off, which I found really interesting. Just like the underlining product. It's still in a weekly buy for a second week. But, and obviously let's just blow up the big chart right there. We can really, look at this. We can grab it down at the bottom and you can even see it even clearer like that. No guessing there. All right. It's trying to move back down again. Exit. Now, heating oil in the United States fuels the airplanes in the sky. It fuels the trucks on the roads, all the diesel engines, all the airplane engines. It is a main product, a derivative out of the crude oil. Processed. That's it. Processed. From there, we go over to natural gas right there. And again, that's curious in the sense that natural gas is backing off, doing the same thing. As a matter of fact, it started a couple days even earlier. I guess temperatures are not as cold around here, whereas Europe has been having much colder temperatures. And so you can see it's topped out up in here in the $3 and basically what is that 2 cent area. And we've gone now today, we're at a low of $2.68. So it's a 32 cents, 34 cent drop. That's a big drop for something that's trading at $3. So, was that a 12% drop? And then from natural gas, we go over and look at the energy company down in Spain just to get a flavor of what they're doing in Europa. Europe. Boy, we read that article yesterday. Brussels trying to tighten the noose around the individual countries. They have the same tendencies as our federal government. They just want to take. That's all they want to do is take. Tell you how to live your life. It's a little pop going on right there. You can see 2 green dots, and it's been higher the last couple of days. Off its high there at $14.34. We've drifted as low as $13.43. So what's that? 43 versus 34. So basically about a 90-cent drop. Pretty good size drop. I like the idea that it doesn't challenge any of these highs. Keep on going down, which means there's a good chance European energy costs are lower. Now, the only problem I see here is it's trying to climb into a weekly buy. And it's in a daily buy for 2 days here. So it's like, ruh-oh, Rorge. That's a little bad news there. And then we slide over to, let's see, what was that? That's the energies, I guess. We're done the energies. Do we do any others? I guess we do Brent and we do crude. And then we do heating oil, and then we do natural gas, And then we do some European energy stock down in Spain. If anybody knows anything else I could try to get my hands on, I will gladly put it up on the screen here. All right. So we saw Tokyo. And we've seen Shanghai. We've seen Hong Kong. Let's see what they're doing in South Korea this morning. Or last night. For me, last night. Let's see, where are you? There's Jakarta. And then Taiwan and South Korea are right next to each other. I've seen that one. There's that. Okay, so CME. Okay, there we go. Give it a refresh. And here is South Korea. You see it was up 2 nights ago. It was down a little bit. It's still in a weekly sell for the last couple of weeks. Or last week. It went into the weekly sell last week right here from the weekly buy, and then it was in a weekly sell for 3 weeks. So it's like playing with a second week. Fast is trying to kick up. Manifold's tightening up. I'll just show it to you on the full screen there like that. So it's flirting. It's flirting but not flirting enough. And we'll see how they play that out. Let's do this too. Did I do a full screen there? There we are. It's almost like a triangle here. You can see that. You got that triangular line, and you got this going down. It's almost like that's the 1. This is the 2. This is the 3. This is the 4. This is the 5. And then if it breaks out of the triangle here or here, it can fall all the way down to there, or go up as high as 2718. That's that Gann triangle. Let's see, back to there. From there, we'll go take a look at. There's Taiwan. I just saw it. See how the Chipland is going. Chipland, 3 days in a buy. Playing right there. And let's see what the weekly looks like. Is that 4 weeks in a buy or 3 weeks in a buy? 4 weeks in a buy. So right there. Go back to there. And so 4 weeks ago, so the close of the 20th, right there. So somewhere's in here it went into the weekly buy. That was a nice little, let's just make it bigger for you to see. So somewhere in here it went into the weekly buy. Yeah, right around in here somewhere it went into the weekly buy. They pushed it down and then climbed back up. They didn't, just didn't survive the selling. No sell signal. I mean, we had daily sell signals there. That's the nice part about being able to see, where the daily sell signal was. And in this case here, it was right there. They pushed you into that sell. You had red dots, but you were in a buy, so you just protected yourself. I guess it's in here. That's what it is. September 20th. There and there. And just turned around. All right, from there we go to Where do we go from there? Let's see. Singapore Straits Times, STI. There's right there. Singapore, a little weakness 2 days ago on Tuesday, and then last night they lifted it up a little bit. You can see it's in the sell for a few days here. And you can see it's flirting with the weekly sell. So they realize that the sugar high is just that, a sugar high. Matter of fact, you can see they started selling it right at the sugar high. Matter of fact, a couple days ahead of the sugar high. Then from there we go to Jakarta, the largest oil producer in the Pacific. There we are. You see yesterday or last night it went into is trying to push into sell. It's a red dot, but our histogram is in a plus right here. It's one of those neutral situations. and 2 days in the plus, and then you go and look at the weekly, and the weekly's telling you, ooh, be careful. It's 3 weeks in a sell back in here. It went into the sell, so it's like, oh, it's going down. All right, now you would think, an energy country like that would be a little bit more stronger, but it seems to have topped out 3 weeks ago. From there, we shoot over to the Nifty 50 in India. Becoming the second largest country in the world. And I'm sorry, the number one largest country in the world. Sorry about that. Seems to be taking out China now. And they're getting a lot of industry from it. And you can see here, days of selling going on and 2 weeks of selling. So they're not like reaching for it in India at all. The sugar high is not having much of an effect on them. They topped out from the sugar high. I guess it was pressure since they compete with China. It was like that was the pressure from it. And then we go over to, we're running out of time. Let's just, I got to get more Middle Eastern. We tried to get Dubai on there. Let's see what Dubai looks like today. There's Dubai. Only shows 1 day. Doesn't really show us anything else. Doesn't give us back data. I can't even tell if it's up or down. Can't even tell. Just that that's the high today. Is that legitimate? I guess that's legitimate. It closed on the lows in Dubai. And we can't get anything from Saudi Arabia yet. We have to hunt down more products from there, from that side of the world, because we go through there and we're going right to Europa basically. And then let's see what Tel Aviv is doing. That's a high tech. That's like the Silicon Valley over there. Israel is like the Silicon Valley. All the high tech stuff going on right there. Even with the rocket's red glare, they don't seem to want to sell it down to here or anything. So it looks like it's trying to push itself into the buy. It's in a weekly buy for like 3 weeks. So even with rockets red glare, like in crude oil, they're just not that freaked from it. Let's jump over to DAX. DAX and FTSE, and then we'll get out of here. There's the DAX. A lot of red. It's been, the histogram on the daily has been in the plus for 4 days. The weekly's been in a plus for 3 weeks. You can see it has been climbing up, but it seems to be stalled out in there. And then let's go take a look at the FTSE, and then we're going to get out of here. But Brussels, we saw the Brussels index looking a little muddy. I guess a little leaky. In the hedge fund industry, we would call it looks a little leaky. Let's see if we can spot that too. There's the FTSE. And then we'll go to Brussels, and then we're out of here. And FTSE's been weak yesterday and still a little weaker today. Nothing major. And pushing into the sell. So it is becoming major. Then from there, let me just show you Brussels. Where's Brussels at? I did see it. I really did. Where's the FTSE? Where's the DAX? There it is. There's Brussels right there. And it's got the 5 days down on there. It's like six days down, and been in a weekly buy for weeks, months, moving lower. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We'll catch you tomorrow on Thursday. And so, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now.